Hey, we back, everybody. Welcome back to the I've Been Falsely Accused radio show. I'm your host, Cogee, doing it big, baby, with my man, Mr. Jeffrey Deskovic, who's definitely doing it big. Throw a baby on it, Jeff.
Hey, Cogee.
Come on, Jeff. We gotta get your spirits up, my brother. We gotta get your spirits up.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Cogee. That definitely happens when I'm in meaningful company. So
I hear you,
this
man.
is just what I need right now.
You know that's right. Well, see, I need you to say, that's right, I'm Jeffrey Deskovic. How y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? Let me hear the energy, Jeffrey. I need you.
That's right. I'm Jeffrey Deskovic, and glad to be with everybody tonight.
There you go. That's my brother. There you go. Now, you know, we all stick like brothers and sisters on the show. When one of our people are down and they going through it, we supposed to pull them up. I mean, we all feel the way you feel. You know what I'm saying? I know you was closer, to Mr. Lopez more than us, but we still supposed to embrace you, man. We supposed to love on you, man, and let you know it'll be all right and you can get through it. And, as a family, we all can get through it to keep, doing what we need to do to make sure that, Mr. Lopez is, his wish comes true, that things get changed. You know what I'm saying?
You know that, as you might say, Cogee, you know that's right.
You know that's right, definitely. So we got to go. See, I like that laugh, Jeffrey. I'm glad to hear it. Definitely. Okay, so we got to go to Miss Elsa, a.k.a. Mama Bear. She don't play on this show when it comes to our youth, the love of our youth, the safety of our youth, and just our youth in general, growing up in this crazy world. How you doing, Elsa?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. So, Elsa, I want to ask you a question. People, I want them to know this ain't a game. Hold on, let me do this real quick. I'm sorry. Miss Peaches, are you with me?
I am.
I want you to roll the red carpet for Miss Elsa Prado. I want you to do it. Because, see, it's girl power. Then after you do it, I want to go to Foxy. I want to see what Foxy's going to roll the red carpet for Miss Elsa Prado coming in. I want our women to be strong and to put it down. Go ahead, Miss Peaches, real quick.
Okay, well, we'd like to welcome back Mama Bear, Elsa Prado, to the show. Working hard in Chicago with our kids and our families in the court system. So we get to learn a lot from this lovely lady, and we're so happy that she's with us today. And like Coach said, this is girl power on the phone.
There
right
it is.
Here.
Go ahead, Foxy.
Peaches, thank you so much.
Go ahead, Fox.
Oh, I'd just like to say thank you, Elsa. I didn't know you before the show, and now I do. I feel like we've known each other for years, and you're doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Foxy. Thank you.
Okay, there it is. And I want to thank our guest, Malika, who was on with us, who's definitely doing it on the air and off the air. And she really is doing everything that she said, everybody. So definitely support her movement and what she's trying to do. But we got Miss Elsa Prado in right now. Elsa, thank you. And Elsa, what I want to ask you real quick, and why I asked you to come on the show today, what don't parents and people understand about even when your child does something and go in the court system and just tears the whole family dynamic up? What does it do when these young children are falsely accused to the family structure?
That's very similar to what happens to adults, unfortunately.
Right.
Because even though the kids are kids, they still have to give confessions and statements and all that stuff. So, even as parents, when you really look at the whole thing about educating your child, you have to educate your child about what's going to happen if you do end up in jail. You do have to have these conversations with your kid every once in a while and tell them, you know what, if you ever get yourself in trouble, you need to know that these things, you could be processed. And I can't tell you how many kids get processed like adults because of the magnitude and the level of the crimes that have been committed. And unfortunately, you are little, you are young, but this child doesn't know that they're going to go into this judicial system that may prolong into adulthood, and primarily because, I hate to say it, they don't know better. A lot of kids do a lot of things because they don't know better. And that's the unfortunate part of ending up in the judicial system. And when you have a parent that never talks to kids about what happens, when they had bring your daughter to work day, the first thing I did is I brought my daughter into the jailhouse. I told the guards, I said, when you take the prisoners into their cells, she's going to walk right through here. I made her walk through the cells. She was horrified horrified. She's like, "Why are you doing this?" I said, "Because I want you to see what it's like. I don't want to come home and tell you stories. I want you to see how it smells, how dirty it is. I want you to look at these walls. I want you to look at the cages. I want you to look at these locks. I want you to see these floors, how gummy and dirty and filthy they are. I want you to see the life they're living." And just like Jeffrey said, the quality of air, you can't even breathe. The stench is so awful. I mean, I would walk out of there with my suit on, and my suit was stinky. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you have people that some of them are really sick, some of them haven't bathed in God knows how many days, and it's not like they're being provided the products that they need, for their hygiene, a simple toothbrush, toothpaste, all the basics. So kids need to know, if you think you're so cool right now that you think you might want to have a gun in your pocket or you think you want to stick somebody up, even our children need to have these conversations with their parents. Because I know that right now I might have parents listening and they might say, "Oh no, my kid will never end up in jail." We don't know that. We don't know that someday your kid makes the wrong decision, hangs around with the wrong kids, and ends up in jail. We don't know that.
That's right.
And really, none of us should ever be that presumptuous that we think that things can't happen. So it is important, in my view, please educate your kids about what could happen. If your kid ends up in juvenile, it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be ugly. Very, very ugly. Because a lot of times, these kids, as young as they are, they will be processed very similar to the adults. And it's not a pretty process. It is very ugly.
That's right. You
So,
definitely right
I
about
mean,
that.
I hope that, people do open up their eyes and they realize that these conversations need to be had in the home. And it starts in the home, like we always say, Cogee,
That's
right?
right. You got that right.
It always starts in the home.
That's right. Elsa, do you got a few minutes? I want to do a Ask Elsa real quick. Do you got a few minutes?
Yes.
Okay.
Before and I apologize, but I have to get to class, and I apologize to you because I don't think we had totally said what time frame I could be available.
Okay. No. I mean, you always got our back on all these shows, so I mean, we'll finish it up. Me and Jeffrey got your back. We'll finish it out for you.
No, that's great, and you guys know I'm going to be graduating soon, so.
Oh, and you're doing
we're
your
going to
thing.
be done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now hold on. What I want to do real quick, Jeffrey, I want to go to you. What would you like to ask Elsa? She works with the juvenile criminal system, justice system. What would you like to ask her, Jeffrey? I'll let you start it off. Then, Ms. Peaches, I'm coming to you.
Yeah. What deficiencies do you see in the juvenile justice system as far as the court aspect of it that the general public may not know?
One of the biggest, most critical, and I think the most sad part of it is going to be the separation between parent and child. These parents, unfortunately, have no idea that their child may be completely taken from them. And that is one of the, I think, hardest things that I have seen is how some of these kids will be ripped apart from their families. And the other unfortunate part that I see, and this is a huge deficiency on the parents, is the fact that some parents want to literally punish their kids by sending them to juvenile court or sending them through the juvenile jail system. They think, I'm going to teach this kid a lesson, and I'm going to call the police, I'm going to have this kid arrested, and it is the very family that puts the kid in jail, and then the kid can't get out, and then now the kid's in a trap because they thought they were going to do him something good, when in fact, guess what happens? They could have put the kid in therapy. They probably could have done family counseling and like all those really good steps that families do, loving families do. Instead, they take the violent route, and I call it the violent route because you and I know, Jeffrey, that these kids get raped in there, these kids get assaulted in there, and all kinds of ugly things happen to these kids, right?
Jeffrey?
Yes, yeah.
No, she asked you a question. She said, is that right?
Am I right when I tell you?
Yes, that happens sometimes. That happens sometimes. There's violence inside there, and sometimes rapes happen. Yeah, that's true.
And this also happens to the kids. And a lot of parents don't realize that their own kids are going to be jumped by other kids. And they will be assaulted sexually and physically. and emotionally, because it is ugly in the juvenile court system.
That's right. Let me ask you this, Elsa, real quick. I want to piggyback off what you said a minute ago, but I always want to help our public to understand a little bit more better. Now, this is what you say. This is what I got from it, and you tell me right or wrong. I got from it what you're trying to say to all our listeners around the world, and to everybody. We all say hello here from the I've Been Falsely Accused radio show. What I heard was, why you trying to put your children in jail, go turn them in, and you're trying to teach them a lesson, you're really hurting them, because you're bringing them in the system and you're making it a part of them as well. Now, what if they go in under those conditions and those conditions don't scare them at all, and they feel like, hey, you know what, I ain't scared of this, I'm going to do whatever because I can handle it, instead of going and get some family help, where you sit down with a family, a psychic, I mean, not a psychic, a family,
a psychologist.
Psychologist.
You know, instead
right.
of taking them to a therapist, a psychologist, or,
right.
you know, a family counseling session, because kids a lot of times react out of rebellion, but they're rebelling against their family. They're not rebelling on the people on the street. They're actually looking to the people of the street to find the love and the care and the connection that they don't have at home.
Right.
And that's what people fail to understand, that when kids are outside looking for stuff, it's because they don't have it in their home.
Right. And
but
you know,
if you're giving your kids all that, they're not going to be looking for it out there.
Right. And you definitely hit that on the nose. And hold on, let me go right back to this real quick, Elsa. Now, when you sit down with that person that, you know, giving you and your family, you know, the mental structure, helping y'all find the mental structure and the help that y'all need, maybe you can take this child in a whole different direction of their thinking, to get them to not even let them think about prison, think about jail. You want to keep that as far away, but you want to let them know that it is there 24/7. That's always waiting on you. It's always waiting
on you.
Right.
Always.
So did I hit it on the nose, Elsa?
Yes. Exactly.
Okay.
Jail is always going to be there. It's always going to be waiting for you to fall into the trap, and it could happen very easily. And then unfortunate things can happen, like a situation like Jeffrey. Like, there are many people that are sitting right now in our jail cells just rotting away because there's going to be no money. And I say it that way, money, okay, because money talks in this country.
That's right. You're right about that. Miss Peaches,
there's
real quick.
There's going to be no money to save them, because there's going to be no money for the attorney.
That's
no
right.
money for all the things that need to be paid for in order to get them out of there.
That's right. Miss Peaches.
Yes, Elsa definitely is telling the truth. There's lots of instances that the violence inside the prison walls is very high, through other inmates, through, just like in our outside world, there are some dirty apples when it comes to our corrections officers and everything else. So it's not a place where anybody wants to be, especially not someone who's falsely accused, and especially not a child. Like Jeffrey had said in the last hour, there's so much normal life and growing and experiences that he missed from a situation that was not his fault whatsoever. So please don't do anything on purpose to get yourself put in there and miss that best parts of your life.
Okay.
Right, because you end up missing out on big parts of your life, and we're hearing it firsthand from somebody that has experienced it. And what bigger testimony than a person that's been there, lived through it, that now has all these wounds to heal as a result of, something that should never have happened.
That's right. You're right about that. Foxy.
Hi, Elsa. Can you tell the public the difference between juvenile and group homes?
There's a big difference. The group home is usually like a place for rehab, and it's usually designed where things are not as serious as a jail sentence. Mm-hmm. So they try to accommodate these kids into group homes more than anything, a lot of times to learn skills and to kind of help them get back into society. It's kind of like a medium or kind of like a pathway to get them back to integrate so that they can go back out.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of them have drug problems, a lot of them have alcohol problems, and in order to help them get through these addictions, they put them in group homes to kind of help them. They monitor them. They assist them with all kinds of things, because at that point, they're still trying to recover. alcoholism, drug addiction, and all that. Those are very serious illnesses.
That's right. You're definitely right about that. Now, Elsa, another thing I want to ask you real quick. I definitely want to talk to the single moms and single dads, and I want to talk to the two-parent homes as well. We got a few people that's listening right now, and their children are doing some great things. They very focused, and their children are, A1 on their game with whatever they're doing in sports, academics, and everything. Now, I got offered the other day, a friend of mine came to me and he said, hey, I would love for you to be the godfather of my son. You know what I'm saying? And his son is really doing great things. And I said, you know what? I think it's an honor that another man can turn to another man. Not that he needs somebody to take care of his child or he's... Hello, Elsa? Oh, she dropped off.
Peaches.
Oh, Peaches dropped. Elsa?
No, I'm still here.
Okay, not that, a person turns to another person when they ask them to be a godparent because they need the help. It's just that they see that another strong man can be there for their child to help their child through this world nowadays. And on our show, we always say it takes a village. What would you like to say to those parents that's not too proud to say, hey, you know what? I think you own your game, and I would love for you to be a part of my child's family and to make sure that my child is all right mentally in areas that I might be missing, or my child got that extra support from another man backing him up, who's on his game too, that he can learn as well. And that's he or she. You get what I'm saying? What would you want to say to those parents?
And that basically what that person's saying, you're like a second parent, like a kind of like another person that to assist,
right?
In the raising of that person,
That's right.
that child, which is important because actually we all should be doing that for everybody.
I
like
agree.
we were saying,
Yeah.
even in our communities, we should look out for the neighbor's kid. The neighbor's kid. If we're around, it shouldn't be where we isolate ourselves from the children in the community or the youth of the community. We should all kind of have an eye out for them. If we notice something, see if you can help. There's nothing wrong with that. And really, it's about mentoring.
That's right.
And mentoring is very important in our society. If we are not mentoring our youth, who is?
And that's worth more than money, material things, and everything.
Absolutely. It is worth than all the gold in the world.
That's right. To have a young child's mental own right at an early age.
At an early age, and you're mentoring the youth, and you're mentoring the people that are just coming up into adulthood. What better way can you help than being a mentor and assisting them and kind of guiding them, because they're going to go into the world and they have the rest of their lives to work and do all kinds of things.
That's right.
But if you raise them right from the beginning, your odds are going to be a whole lot better than the person that never spent any time with those kids.
That's right. And that's why I said I want to definitely give big ups to, I got a few God kids that I mentor and I look out for, and all of them are really doing their thing, Elsa. I'm very proud of all of them.
Yeah.
But I'm more proud of the parents that came to me and said, hey, I want to make you a part of my family, where if we can get to our child on a certain subject, you can come to him and bring it from your angle and, help out. Or if our child is doing something, we would love for you to be a face in the crowd showing that support. That people do really care for other people's children nowadays. I think that's
right,
something
and
that's great.
It should be that way.
That's
yeah,
right.
It should be that way. It shouldn't be the other way around.
That's right. I definitely think it's great. Jeffrey, let me ask you something real quick. What would you want to say to those parents, Jeffrey, that says, hey, you know what? I know I can do it, but it ain't about me. It's about the safety and the mental of my child, having a mentor. What you want to say to them, Jeffrey?
I'd say don't feel threatened by your child having a mentor, having another key figure in their life that could be a positive influence. They can only back up and support, the child going on the right way and making the right decisions, setting up for a better future. And a key point that was made earlier, you never, ever, ever want to put your child, into the court system, because then the matter becomes outside of the parent's control. It's much better to go to a mental health a counselor. That way, you can always. There's no courts, there's no jails, it's not out of your control. You can shut it off if you want to, you can keep going. But that's such a huge point that was made earlier that I just felt like I needed to support that. by
Right.
reiterating.
That's cool. And you know what? See, I love it when I come to one of y'all and then y'all say something, but then y'all come back to something that was said earlier, because that was really a key thing that you said, Jeffrey, and that Elsa said too. Don't come in. I'm in the court system. I work there. Do not come and play with us. Stay as far away from us as you can, because once you come and you be a part of us, you could be an everlasting family member with that court system. So stay away.
Yes, you can.
That's right. So let me go to you real quick, Foxy. Foxy, what would you want to say to all the
Cogee,
parents?
I'm going to have to go, okay?
Okay. All right, Elsa. Well, much love to
All
you.
right.
And we want you
Much
to know.
love to everybody. I love
Bye,
you guys.
Elsa.
I got to fly. And everybody take care.
Okay. Much love to you, Elsa. We'll talk to you Wednesday.
Alrighty.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye. That was Miss Elsa Prado from Chicago. Everybody definitely doing it big. Now, Foxy, I want to come to you real quick. What would you want to say to the parents that says, hey, you know what? I want you to be a part of, what I'm doing. I mean, a part of my child's life, his success. And we want to cut down the failures of a child. We want to always balance the success and keep it going up. And you know what I'm saying? Keep a child on the right path.
Yeah, that's good. I tried that with boys and girls, and I never got a response.
Boys
to
and
it.
Girls Club?
No, Big Brothers and
Big Brothers
Sisters.
and Sisters. Okay.
I never got a response to it. I was really, I got frustrated behind it, and my children didn't have no mentor. But to hear that you have to have a mentor now is a good thing.
That's right.
I would say, yeah, be a mentor.
I hear you. Okay. Miss Peaches, chime in.
Just Jeffrey left.
Oh, it's just Jeffrey? Okay. All right. So let me go to Jay real quick. Our producer. Jay, what do you think about that?
Ask me the question one more time, please.
You ain't special. Ask me again, please. What would you say to all the parents out there who looks out to find their child a mentor, or somebody who can always have a close connection with their child to make sure that their child stay on their A game 24/7? Even when the parents ain't around, they know somebody can go and definitely make sure their child is okay.
That's really important, and that's real love. To know that to ask for help. There's nothing wrong to ask for help. One man or woman can't do it alone. It takes a village, and that's what you always advocate for on our shows. So it's definitely important for any, even parents that are two-parent homes. Sometimes both parents are working really hard or don't have that extra help with their kids, and sometimes the message to our youth can come through a mentor that the parents can't. Like several different youth have come on the show, and the parents have asked you to mentor their children.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Through things. Sometimes you don't hear your parents the way you hear
You get
someone
immune
else.
to
Yeah,
them.
you get immune, so it's
Right.
definitely important.
Right. So with you being an orphan, how did you make it, Jay? How did you make it through it? Hey, Jeffrey, Jay needs to be adopted.
We all need to be adopted.
Hey, Jeffrey, are you willing to mentor Jay and take under your wing?
You can't choose your you can't choose your family, but you can choose your friends.
Cogee, I so believe in friends as family.
That's
know?
right. Yeah.
I so believe in that. So
Right.
yeah, I'm definitely open. Cogee, there was a period in my life as a kid, prior to my being arrested. I remember I went through a stage in life where, I was pretty, and my friends went through this too, but I was pretty sure that my parents were stupid. They didn't know what they was talking about. I had all the answers.
Right.
And I wasn't the only one thinking like that. So I think that's another role for the mentor. I mean, we tend, kids reach a stage sometime when, they start to think their parents don't know what's going on, and they're not hip. They don't really understand how things are. So I mean, another role for the mentor. I mean, especially when they start to get around 12, between 12 to 17, 18.
Yeah.
Where because those are the years too where those are years too when there's some conflict that goes on as as youth are growing up, and they're starting to the struggle of independence versus authority. I mean, some of those power struggles that formulating an identity and independence. I mean, all those things begin to raise themselves. So if there's a mentor involved, the momentary alienation or partial tuning out or strain, it's another voice to reach the youth that's not involved into that dynamic.
That's right. You're definitely right about that. But like I said, when we can come together, that's why I've been falsely accused. See, I don't want people to think that's all we talk about is being falsely accused. No, we safeguard the community all the way around the board. That's what I want y'all to know. It's just, you ain't going to keep coming and you ain't going to just keep hearing the same thing. But the structure and we are at the forefront of taken care of. I've been falsely accused, but we all do have hearts. We all do have, we see things in the news that bother us. You know what I'm saying? So when we have these days on the show where we can come and we can, pour our hearts into the community, that are crying out, we definitely need to give, our intuition and, we definitely need to give all the thoughts and our connections and everything we can do to throw a love line and lifeline out there for somebody to get their life right. We use everything we got to put into this show to give the knowledge where you can go follow our knowledge and you can move forward to, a good situation. I told Jeffrey today on the show, I said, man, I think what we need to do, we need to give our hearts, to the community on this show. We still going to keep it in the format of the show. And Jeffrey was like, you know what? I think it's a great idea. I think it's, I'm with it. Let's do it. So, like I said, to everybody out there, who's having it rough with their children, I really think you should get a mentor or somebody that you look up to. It could be a man, a woman on your job, and you see that they got it together. They really got it together, and they doing great with their kids as well. And on top of that, you ought to talk to them about, mentoring your child. I kind of tell them a little insight of what you're going through with your child and what you can't break through with your child. Maybe this person can come in and say the right thing to help your child understand the message that you're trying to give them. One thing I don't want parents to do is not to give up on your child. Not when there's so many other resources out here for you to help your child win and to achieve. And like I said, to all the godparents out there, who've asked me to look out for their kids, I just want to say I got so much respect for each and every one of y'all, because it shows that over and above, y'all want y'all children to be achievers over and above, and y'all trying to prevent anything with going wrong in their lives, because y'all putting that person in or that fixture in the situation along with y'all to make sure that every child gets home safe, every child goes out in this world and they know how to be in this world with respect. They know that it's consequences for bad things that they do. They know how to keep a winning spirit and never give up. Never give up, because you have so many people that love you and care for you that a child has no reason to give up. A child should just take a minute, reboot. You go to your godparent, or you go to your own parent, and you reboot your life. You get your life back rebooted through the strong people around you. And that's why we do these shows, me and Jeffrey and the whole team. We trying to reboot everybody and get everybody back on the right track. Because even us as grown people, Jeffrey I call and talk to him. I talk to Jay. We all talk to each other. Me and Foxy, we talk every day. We talk every day on the phone. We always trying to reboot ourselves. Ain't none of us got the key to success. We all learning it along the way, but sometimes you have to learn it through the knowledge of others. The people that you love and you care about, we definitely have to keep sharing information to move forward. And don't let the negativity be a part of nothing that y'all do with nobody. Keep negativity away. If it's friends, even as grown people, we got to show our friends, we got to show our children, it's certain friends we are not going to hang with. It's certain friends that can't come around our children. Our children cannot be tainted by another friend that come around that's miserable, that's full of hate, that always want to talk about fighting. We're talking about grown men that's still talking about, I'm going to get you when I see you. I'm going to fight you. Come on, man, grow up. Grow up, because it's children, and if you got children, and a lot of children, you teaching them through your own actions. We don't teach children that. We teach children to forgive and forget and go on about their business, because right now other children are killing other children. So we want to be smarter. We don't want to work harder. We want to work smarter. And if we have to work smarter through bringing other people in our equation with our families to be successful, that's what we need to do. If you love your child, you save your child at every cost, at any cost and every cost. All right, so we're going to take a break real quick, and we'll be right back. And to everybody that's listening all around the world, I want to say thank you. I'm dedicating this song to everybody. This song is going to reboot us to come right back in and finish having a great show. This is the I've Been Falsely Accused radio show. I'm your host, Cogee, with my main man, Mr. Jeffrey Deskovic. And we all going to be all right.
No matter what the circumstance.
Hey, we back, everybody. Welcome back to the I've Been Falsely Accused radio show. This is our last and final hour. It's been a great show today, a real great show today. This is part 24. We definitely doing it big for the community. Again, I want to say what's up to everybody around the world, to everybody who's out there doing their thing to make sure that they put the unfortunate people first before yourself, if you can, without hurting yourself. I want to say big ups to everybody. I want to say I think you're doing a great job, and I think that everybody needs help nowadays. It's even some people that fake it to make it. They need help. They really need help. Sometimes we all got to fake it to make it, just to keep our dignity and respect for ourselves. So we think. But you always have loved ones and friends that say, hey, you know what? I got you back. You ain't got to play like, you don't need this or you don't need that. I got you because I know you got me. And that's what means a lot. And Jeffrey, I got you, my brother.
Yes, same. You got. I know you do, Cogee, and I got you as well.
That's right. Now, Jeffrey, what I want to do real quick, the rest of the show, we got like 25 minutes left in the show. I definitely want to talk about William Lopez's homegoing. You went to the funeral and you went to the viewing and everything. I want you to bring us up to speed on that whole situation, because we was going to have a homegoing celebration for him in this last hour, but unfortunately the people that were supposed to be on for him, they couldn't get off their jobs, they couldn't rearrange their schedule, but we still going to do it. But you'll bring us up to speed from your perspective of everything. So let us know, how was the homecoming? I mean, what did he have on, in his casket? Did he have a nice suit on? Did he have a shirt and pants? I mean, you bring us up to speed.
He had on a light like a tannish type suit.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a tannish suit. There's a picture of me on Facebook with him when he was alive, and we're standing together next to each other at a podium. He's got like a tan suit on, and we're against like a blue background, curtains behind us. So that was the suit that, he went home in.
Okay.
It was a beautiful service. It started out most appropriately, I think, with his mother singing some words, and she was joined by his brother Eugene. They stood next to me, and they were talking about him. And, different people who knew Bill in different ways. I mean, there was a lot of formerly incarcerated people there.
Wow.
About half of them there were exonerees, and another half of them were not. They were people who had committed their crimes but had turned their lives around and were professionals and were doing well.
Right.
And so, there was about like 10 testimonials that way, and so there were two themes which really held true of every speaker, which was how tragic it was that, and ironic, and how the system stole his life. Basically, he only had the year and a half of freedom. So everybody hit that note, and at the same time, the other thing was that everybody told at least one funny story pertaining to Bill, and that brought smiles to everybody's face, and brought laughter, and really drove home our appreciation for him. And as one formerly incarcerated person said, this really should be a celebration of the life of William Lopez. Focusing more on that aspect of it than the sad part of it. It was amazing to meet. I mean, I met Crystal. I met his daughter Crystal for the first time, and a lot of members of Bill's extended family. And I shared with them that he did the best that he could in terms of communication, but that it's not easy to chat with people you've had limited to no contact with, and that that I experienced that myself. So many, the judge Cogee was so powerful. The Judge Garofis, who was the federal judge whose lengthy decision resulted in William Lopez's freedom. The judge showed up.
Oh wow!
And his wife.
Oh wow!
It was standing room only. The judge showed up and met Bill's family, and he was so happy that Bill at least had the year and a half freedom. And I've never seen nothing like that before, where a judge who frees somebody shows up, Cogee.
No, that is something different.
Yeah, that's very different. In my presentation, for lack of a better term, when I spoke, I hit the following components for Bill. I started off, I described his case to everybody, which, in brief, Bill was wrongfully convicted of a murder. There were 2 witnesses against him. One of them couldn't make an in-court identification. The other one stood out, becomes a one-witness case, and that witness who had been up for 24 hours, who had used 12 to 14 vials of drugs, and who had claimed that she initially was offered a deal in exchange for her testimony against him, but then later claimed that the deal was withdrawn and she was just testifying out because it was the right thing to do. How his lawyer was terrible. He didn't call his alibi witnesses. Bill was actually speaking with his in-laws at the time the crime happened. And I explained it to 4 or 5 different directions from which his innocence could be demonstrated, from his alibi witnesses to the witness that we helped locate in Dominican Republic who testified via Skype. That Bill wasn't there. To there was an affidavit from a female prisoner who said that I'm locked up with this woman who confessed to me that she's falsely incriminating somebody in exchange for freedom. And how the witness against him came walking out of jail 2 weeks after Bill was convicted. So we went with that, and we discussed the reforms that his case illustrates, from misidentification to bad lawyering to the need for a commission on prosecutor conduct and criminalizing clear-cut intentional prosecutorial misconduct. How we need more evidence. Bill was convicted really based upon an informant. They had no other evidence against him, and so his case illustrates why there needs to be like an external evidence corroboration requirement. And then I shared that Bill was bothered so much by how his life was disrupted, and how he knew that this case was not isolated, and that the absence of reforms bothered him because that sets the stage for other wrongful convictions to happen, and how really he did everything we asked of him. From media interviews to press conferences to lobbying to speaking. We shared some really great memories, from the time that he got drunk when he was released upon with like 2 sips of wine because he had no tolerance. To his email address was with there's a movie called Free Willy.
Yeah.
And so Bill made his email address Free Willy Lopez at hotmail.com. Yeah, just like that was humor. That was through the time that we had. On the day he was his exoneration was his freedom was permanently secured, and we went to this famous restaurant on City Island here in the Bronx called Sammy's, and we had this big, huge triple-decker appetizer that cost like $100, but it had every kind of seafood in it. You could imagine how he had a big boyish smile on his face, and he stepped back from the dish and taking pictures of it, and just recounting all the great times from Christmas to Thanksgiving to his birthday of him, his wife's birthday, milestones. you know, and then I shared a little bit of his qualities.
Right.
You know, Bill really didn't see the point in weighing into an argument and you know, and getting into right or wrong of it. I mean, he saw, when it came to disagreements about, you know, quarrels amongst people, Bill saw value in trying to put the people back together rather than focusing in on right or wrong.
Right. You know what, Jeffrey? Let me ask you something real quick. I just got told from my board guy. Hold on, he can tell it better than me. Mike, what did you just tell me about William Lopez?
I was on, first of all, good afternoon, Jeffrey. And I was on the internet this weekend, Friday and Saturday, and Mr. Lopez made the front page on the Yahoo about how that you all had got him out of prison and was starting his new life. And then, of course, the tragedy that happened. But just wanted to pass that along to y'all that he made the front page both on Friday and Saturday of the Yahoo News.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. I followed some of the news, but those two items that escaped my notice. And, you know, I know that Bill would be happy. He would be happy that even in death he's raising awareness about issues. That people, a lot of people are talking about it. You know, from what I heard, I mean, Howard Stern was, you know, he was talking about it. Even Steve Harvey was. So raising awareness even in death, Cogee. How could you beat that?
Wow, man, that's really cool. That's right. We gotta show some love. Definitely show some love. Definitely show some love. But Jeffrey, we down to 5 minutes, and I want you to definitely take 3 of it, and you say what you know. Let your heart go about your friend William Lopez. You know, one last time, real quick. I want you to definitely do that. You got 3 minutes.
Well, I miss him so much. I mean, in a lot of ways, that was my right hand man on the ground here in New York. You know, I still can't quite, you know, believe he's gone. You know, I'm happy that he did have the year and a half of freedom. He was definitely closer to me than my blood. I mean, you and I talked about that on the radio, even as amongst us, Coach. You know, right. I mean, friends and family is a choice there, and
that's right.
You know, I feel honored that, you know, I was in his inner circle, that we were like family, and we were closer than his family and mine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the water still flows sometimes, you know, Cogee. It's fresh still.
And you know what? It should flow. I think, remember what I told you? Me and you had a long talk before you went to his funeral. Me, you, and Jay, where we talked on the phone about 2 hours. And I said, Jeffrey, I need you to let it flow in front of everybody. Don't try to be strong for everybody, because y'all had a different situation. And I think you ought to honor him and let your feelings go.
I remember you told me.
That's right. You know, it ain't too many people that we will cry over nowadays, and you know that's right.
No, I know that. I know.
Right. We'll feel sorry for them, and, you know, we'll even pray for them. But when it comes down to it, it's like, you know, they wasn't that close to me. I'm sorry it happened, but we wasn't that close. But when you get somebody, like I said, that sticks closer than a brother, you know what time it is.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. That's definitely right.
Oh yeah. So we at the end of our show right now, and encouraging words, Jeffrey, real quick.
You know, we're you know, our listenership, you know, means so much to us, and you know, we've had a wide array of guests, you know, on all these shows, and you know, I feel like we're making a lot of headway, and that right there is words of encouragement.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there it is. Real quick, Fox. Words of encouragement.
Just never give up.
That's right. Definitely. Jay?
I definitely want to thank everyone for even listening. You know, that's half of being part of the movement, is to listen and then to share, you know. So we really want everyone who hears the show or knows of it to share it with your friends and to tell them to tune in next time. And we thank everyone for being a part of this, and just know that, you know, unfortunately this can happen to anyone, and we're trying to do our best to prevent that from happening to another child, another person in this world. So thank you all for listening.
That's right. And for me, I just want to say to anybody out there who don't think this can't happen to you, you definitely mistaken. You definitely wrong. The way we bring all these different people through here and they tell these stories, and we have people that come on our show that just, they putting love out for somebody who has been down. They taking care of a person, helping them get their life back on track. Now, I think it's very disrespectful if we tell any exoneree that, we don't believe what happened, we don't believe in this, we don't believe in that, because you never know the real truth. You, like I said, and I'll say it again, you will believe the news before you believe the real person right in front of you. And anybody who turns on a friend through something that's said or something that's done without knowing and talking to your friend first, you would never a friend anyway. And I don't think you deserve to finish being that person's friend if you leave them in a time of need when they need you the most. Everybody needs that voice of reason that fights for them when they down. And that's what it's about. And that's what we do on this show. And like I said, to every parent around the world who's definitely getting mentors for their children and they helping their children get to a brighter day, I want to say we celebrating y'all today too. And to anybody that watches this show and listen to this show, I want to thank y'all too. And for the people who really, ain't giving us the support we need, I just pray that this don't happen to your family. I really pray that it don't. And like I said, to anybody that's listening, we want to say thank you. We appreciate you guys. Everybody on the phone, I appreciate y'all. Everybody in the studio, I appreciate y'all. And until next time, stay safe and stay free.